In this video, we're going to talk about why right now could be the best time in history to buy a home. Typically, when interest rates go up, home prices go down, and when interest rates go down, home prices go up. And right now in this market, we're in a very unusual situation where we both have interest rates are low and home prices are low, and we're going to go over that data here throughout these slides. Here we're talking about the affordability index, and it's never been higher. Actually, it's never been better. If you take a look at this number right here, the housing affordability is the best it's ever been in history. If you take a look at the low here, this is back in the early 80s. It's actually when I got into the mortgage business. Interest rates were around 17, 18% back then. So it was very difficult to buy a home and very costly to buy a home. And again, right now we're in a very low interest rate climate, and because of the economy, because of the recession, home prices have dropped as well. So the affordability index is very high at this point. Another reason why the market's going to be improving or starting to improve is employment is starting to improve. You know, we saw employment drop off back in the mid-2007, kind of peaked at the high there in mid-2008. Halfway through 2009, we started to recover. The economy started to recover. So now we're starting to see some job gains, and this as well is going to help the housing market. And here we talk about sales of existing homes. And if you take a look back in April of 2005, home sales were near a peak. They kind of dropped off again due to the recession. The housing market just didn't do so well. Back in July of 2010, we kind of hit a low, and now house prices are starting to increase. And we're going to show that in an upcoming slide here, actually what's happening with home prices right now. And here we talk about monthly payments and how monthly mortgage payments have really never been lower. In this example, on a $200,000 loan, we're going to compare an interest rate of 4%, 5%, 6%. And at 4%, your monthly principal and interest payment would be $990 a month. At 5%, you're looking at $1,090 a month. And at 6%, you're looking at $1,190 a month. So just a 2% rise in interest rate is going to cost you an extra $200 a month for that $200,000 loan. And here's some interesting statistics from California. These are medium home prices, and I want to go over these kind of the highlighted areas here. Back in the second quarter of 2007, the median home price of a home in California was $503,000. Principal and interest payment on that home was $3,193, and you had to have a minimum qualifying income of $95,000 to buy that $500,000 home. Now, if we move forward to the first quarter of 2009, that $500,000 home, now you can buy for $210,000. Principal and interest payment dropped from $3,193 per month. Now we're down to $1,250, and now you only need a minimum income of $37,000 to qualify for that same home that back in 2007 would cost you over $500,000, and you need an income of $95,000 to qualify. Now, if we go to the last quarter of 2010, the home prices you see have started to rise from $210,000 to $256,000, and the income to qualify for that loan now is $39,000, $39,600. And again, as home prices rise or interest rates rise, this is going to affect what you qualify for. And that's one of the reasons why now is just an excellent opportunity to buy a home. And here's an article on Housing Affordability Index. It's the highest level in 2 decades. And actually, this report is the highest it's ever been since they started computing the housing index. Anyway, I want to talk about the affordability index here. Back in the fourth quarter 2005, the index was at 41. End of 2010, we're now at an affordability index of 73. And this is a nationwide index here. Okay, the last one we looked at was just California. The average home price in the United States back in 2005 was $254,000 right here, where as of right now, the average home price in the United States is $175,000. Okay, back in 2005, we had interest rates around 6.36%, and end of 2010, we were at about 4.6%. I want to talk about what happened back in 2003. This is when the real estate market really started to take off. And back then we had a housing affordability index of 63.7, which is pretty good. A medium home sales price, $176,000, and again, this is a nationwide number. Average interest rate, around 5.75%. Then we go to fourth quarter of 2004. Just 1 year later, the affordability index dropped. Medium home price rose from $176,000 to $219,000, and interest rates pretty much stayed the same. So in 1 year, just from 2003 to 2004, we saw an increase on average nationwide of 25% in home values. And here's some interesting numbers. This goes back, this is annual appreciation, and they actually track it from 1890 to 2007. So on average, since 1890 to the year 2007, home prices have increased on average 3.44% per year. This is why buying a home is such a great investment. And in another slide or another video, we're going to talk about the investment opportunity and what a great investment it is to buy a home. Now, if you take a look at after World War II, since 1940 to 2007, the average increase in home prices, appreciation, was 5.45%. And these numbers here breaks it down by decade. So during the 1890s, we saw about 0.5% appreciation. And if you take a look at all of these numbers, there were only 2 decades since the 1890s where home values had actually lost value. The rest of these decades, they actually saw appreciation. So even though you may have a year or two where home values decline, overall, every 10-year period of time since 1890, home prices have increased in value. So really the data is pretty clear. Now is a great opportunity to buy either your first home or if you're looking to upgrade to another home. The time really couldn't be any better. Because again, interest rates are very low, home prices are low. I want to thank you for watching this video. Please get back to the professional who sent you here to get more information.